Welcome back to War Thunder and welcome aboard the Italian 8.0 battle rating jet, the G.91 R/1 variant, because there is also the pre-series. And I wanted to make a video about this jet because I think I have a confession to make. I like this thing, I really do. And you will see me here two battles featuring once in a 9.0 match, of which I will cut out a part, the boring part, and you get the exciting part right away. And then after that, a bit of a fail in an 8.0 match. Well, win and fail, depends how you see it. So, the G.91 R/1. I think this is a stunning plane to look at. It is absolutely beautiful, and I could make like pictures of this plane for days. Literally, how it is modeled, how the camouflage works, in conjunction with how it flies and how it works with the lighting in the game. I have not come across a plane that looks that good. Okay, that is personal taste, it's debatable, yada yada yada. However, now we talk about the performance. And I think this is a plane that deserves a battle rating of 8.0 from the perspective of a 9.0 jet, but not from the perspective of a 7.0 jet. What does this mean? Well, it's completely and utterly overpowered if you fly it with your normal kind of playstyle in a 7.0 battle when you are top tier. And I have witnessed some 8.0 battles, and well, I was clearly the alpha predator. There are certain limitations to which I will come in a moment, but generally speaking, you can hold yourself against a 9.0 jet in certain ways. At least you don't have this kind of lack of acceleration and top speed like, for example, the F3D1. So again, to go back to this plane and compare them, there is a huge difference in performance for two planes that have the same battle rating. Okay, so you can fly it a bit more aggressively, you can turn with enemies better, but within certain realms, certain borders. And you can see me here, I was very opportunistic. I did the passive playstyle from the beginning on, and I just got to have the fortune of that I was able to harvest an AFK climber. And now I have all the speed, and you can see it, you reach around about 1,100 kilometers as top speed before you go into the risk of ripping your wings. You have 101% of emergency power, so to speak. Not 113, but 101. Does it make a huge difference? I'm not quite sure, but it's not like it's making an insane difference. Let's put it that way. Then yeah, you have a decent roll rate. By the way, I have not used the boosters on this plane, so the plane is fully upgraded, and in a nutshell, your fully upgraded performance seems to match a 9.0's stock performance. So for example, a Saber, and the comparison to a Saber is nothing that you could really put aside, because it has the raw shape of a Saber, okay, and the armament, as you can hear and see in the background, is also Saberish. So instead of 650 caliber M3 machine guns that are on Sabers, you have just 4 M3 Browning 50 caliber machine guns with just 1,200 rounds. That means the following: you have a high shell rate in the air, or bullet rate, but not as high as a Saber. You lack the stopping power even more than a Saber. You still rely on the armor piercing effect, which recently or a few patches ago was buffed. So it's not as you can't kill anything, okay? But the lack of ammunition, the lack of just stopping power is feelable in certain situations. And in certain situations, the plane just refuses to kick up that little bit of maneuverability, especially against the British jets. But then you can mostly outspeed them. And in head-ons, just roll out of the way before you get into the risk of catching a shell. Even slight damage completely ruins your maneuverability and your controllability. And then you feel like a German prop fighter. Whatever. So the plane can hold itself against 9.0s, and if they don't pay attention, they're dead. Or you crit them. You do a lot of crits, but you get an awful amount of assists. Okay, I just want to make this clear. So that's good. Now against 7.0 jets, it's not even fair. You're completely and utterly overpowered against 7.0 and 7.3 jets. They will be more maneuverable than you, but you have just so much speed. You're not quite on Vautour level of speed, but you have certainly better maneuverability than the Vautour back when it was like in on 8.7. And watch, I just have 12 rounds left. Watch this, 12 rounds. And I got a crit. Yeah, to make a long story short, I got a kill assist. So with one load of machine guns and so forth, I got 3 kills and 1 kill assist and a nice amount of income. So I cannot really complain about this. I'm not quite sure. I think there was a 15% bonus booster for research points activated. So now let's move on to the 8.0 top tier battle, and let's see what happens. So while this battle is running in the background and the maneuvers should be self-explanatory, and by the way, if you're an experienced jet pilot, let me know what I did wrong, what I did right, and how I could further improve. The thing is this, I want to also talk about the CAS potential. First of all, Italian planes in general have miserable CAS potential. And this plane is actually the exception. So when we look at it, you also can see that even if you have not researched or selected any of your payload, the bomb pylons are still there. 2 500-pound bombs. Not really convincing. This plane is more famous for the second loadout, which are 38 Hydra 70 heat rockets. And with 290 millimeters of penetration, you know, what you hit gets usually penetrated from the top or from the side and so forth. Even from the front, because you're mostly coming in at an angle where angled armor gets then less effective. But there are, again, on those wing pylons, so you have 19 launches, which is quite a lot. But you just, again, then I'm not quite sure how useful and effective this plane will be when there are Italian tanks in the game. I mean, yeah, there are Italian tanks, but to get enough spawn points with your 2 premium tanks in a realistic battle to join with this 8.0 jet, it's debatable. I mean, I've seen people doing it, and yeah, with often enough tries you will be able to do this, but don't count on it. That's my advice. If you do otherwise, don't blame me if you continuously fail. But nevertheless, you can see me here absolutely dominating those enemy jets, even F-84s, and you're just so fast. However, with this speed comes also a great danger. First of all, yes, you have an air brake, yes, it's effective, and yes, your acceleration is good, and yes, this plane is fully upgraded. However, you face compression. Between 850 kilometers an hour to top speed, you face increasing amounts of compression. How to actually go around this? Well, first of all, pull up. And then with the lack of speed or the loss of speed, you gain more maneuverability. Your flaps sadly don't support this kind of just up to around about 500 kilometers an hour you can deploy them. Maybe more with the boosters, I don't know. Let me know in the comment section. But the plane itself flies really nicely. It has limitations, but it actually has the performance that with your own skill you can work around that. And a G.91 in top tier is just absolutely slaughtering. If you have multiple of those jets in the air, well, yeah, you can absolutely dominate a lot of the enemies. Maybe the F2H, fully upgraded in a speed fight, can match it. I'm not quite sure. But then, you know, the F2H feels a little bit heavy. So this is just the kind of way that I see it. By the way, if you look at the chat, in chat battles, don't take it serious. Please don't take it serious, because it's a lot of trash talk, okay? And you see the same people over and over again, and you also have to, you know, deal with the circumstances and with the trash talk that you do. It's quite enjoyable, actually. I like it, but please don't take it serious. Don't, you know, team kill anybody just because I was harsh to him in chat. And you have seen it on my YouTube channel. I have to make this clear, because you know, certain people will take it too serious. So that was a nice double kill, by the way, with the Vampire, and the P80 that I hit previously seemed to have crashed. 4 kills. And then I was more or less out of ammunition. I joined back to the I went back to the airfield, and then that happened. So I'm about to land, and derp. Okay. That was the only time that it happened to me in the G.91 without being damaged, so lol. One thing that is a big problem is this. So I was in a maneuver fight with an F-25 Sabre, and yeah, I tried to get into the right position here with the scissoring, trying not my wings to rip, which can sometimes happen. And I spray here, I hit them a little bit, but not, you know, good enough. And it was exactly at this moment that I thought to myself, oh, come on, please no. Yeah, 23mm are highly effective. So please don't be harsh to this guy. It was an accident. We had a good laugh about it in the next 2 battles. It was really a lot of trash talk, and he was really ashamed and begged me to not, you know, put it on YouTube. I was like, yeah, sure, nobody will see it. So as you could see, nobody saw it. You know, it was an accident, and I had a good laugh, and I just wanted to show it that it also happens in chat battles and not just in arcade biplane fights. So that is the G.91, beautiful plane, great handling, a lots of tools going for it, a bit weak here and there in the stopping and firepower department, but I think this is one of the more enjoyable 8.0 jets, and against 7.0s it's just seal clawing. And this again is one of the planes that seems to be okay at 8.0 from the perspective of a 9.0 jet, but not from a 7.0 jet. And so again, this plane begs for decompression, but its place in relation to top tier jets is quite okay. So without further ado, thanks for watching, thanks for listening. Please give this video a like if you did, subscribe if you want to see more, and we'll see each other on the battlefields and in the skies of War Thunder.